Hello everyone and welcome back to the channel. I'm Grandmaster Shaymin, and today we are going to go on to another episode of Fatal 12 as this series continues. And I've got to say, we left off at a very interesting point as Alan finds himself dreaming about this girl, whether it be his potential lover, wife, sister, mother. I'm not sure who this is, but we're at the point where Alan is dreaming. If you missed the last episode, make sure you go and check that out, because we had a pretty interesting fight between Odette and Alan, likely the last one before Odette gets eliminated, as well as we had a number of other things happen involving Odette's potential elimination, as well as figuring out cards for the other participants as well. So make sure you click that thumbs up button down below for me, and let's get right on into it. Alan finds himself dreaming. It's the first time he's had a dream unrelated to the Court of Fate in a long time. You're always reckless, you know that? It's a dream entwined with his past, a past of great importance. Or maybe we don't find anything out at all. Rita? Alan wakes up just as I finish my food. The fact that he sits up so quickly surprises me a bit. I'm not quite sure what he was saying, but it sounded like he was calling out to someone. Of course, questioning about it wouldn't be the smartest decision. Oh, it's you. He comes to the grips with the situation after noticing the sheet on his forehead and towel under his head. You could have just left me here. I was gonna leave after I finished eating. I meant long before that. I place my trash inside the convenience store bag and then take a bottle of water over to Alan. Did I lose? You were the last to collapse, though only by a few seconds. I can hardly consider it a victory if I don't remember it. Saying that, he takes a deep swig of water that I just handed to him. When he stands up afterwards, it serves to remind me just how big he actually is. I'm not sure where to take the conversation now. After a bit of deliberation, I come up with a certain proposal. So hey, you tell me everything you found on Scale Jones so far, and I'll tell you what's written on his regret card in exchange. There's no immediate response, so all I can assume is he's taken by surprise. It feels like the best option for me, though, especially when Alan and Odette's conversation hinted towards Alan knowing plenty about Scale. I'm not sure if I ended up electing him if I'll end up electing him myself or not, but it's a fact that he'll come across my own information at some point. Knowing his cause of death allows me to protect myself should he decide to elect me, at the very least. That's why it's best if I get what I can out of Alan now. Very well. Once Alan was finished telling me what he discovered on Scale, I reveal the contents of his regret card. Gold medal. I feel like there's something that links his regret to his regret in the info Alan told me. No new card seems to have been formed on his end, but I'm sure he'll be able to put the pieces together quickly enough. I should go. Tomorrow's Sunday, but I'd rather open the store if I can. I'm a bit paranoid when my phone died, but right now the sheer exhaustion is my big issue. What is true strength? Pardon? He doesn't respond, so I give up and leave. I'm about half an hour's walk from the closest station. The idea of having to walk the same path back already has me reeling. Shit, dude. You gotta walk all the way home? Miharu's gonna be there, isn't she? It's 1 a.m. Shinjuku may have a major stop in Tokyo, but the last trains don't run much later than this. Meanwhile, Miharu and Naomi are still waiting in front of Lion House for Rinka's return. She's taking her time, isn't she? At this point, I'm willing to consider that she may be out with a boyfriend or something. It's Saturday, after all, and I never did ask if she was dating anyone. Naomi. Yes? Do both of us a favor and shut off that part of your brain that creates those ridiculous thoughts. Naomi feels a chill run down her spine. Well, it wasn't exactly a joke. She swears not to bring up the topic ever again. At this rate, we're going to have an officer or two question while we're here.
I'm not sure what to do now that we've missed the last train. Granted, it is Sunday, so technically it doesn't matter what I do if I'm going to get eliminated anyway. Perhaps I'm best writing a will for Rinka. Miharu.
Naomi fails to find the right response to match how deadly serious Miharu seems. It doesn't help that she feels responsible for the situation too. Miharu could have used the time to possibly find information about Scale had she not suggested relying on Rinka. The memories may disappear should Miharu be eliminated, though. Even if they don't vanish completely, they'll become far too blurry to recall, even more so than her earliest childhood memories. This even applies to when the two of them let their feelings clash. The idea of losing that experience scares her.
Don't worry, I'm sure Rinka will be here.
Naomi's voice is audibly quivering. Both know her faith is entirely unfounded.
You sure are a crybaby, aren't you? Still, I do feel envious about how honest you can be sometimes.
Miharu feels at peace for reasons she cannot understand. If what she's currently feeling towards Naomi is similar to how Rinka feels, then she might just... Whoa! Sudden voice takes Naomi and Miharu by surprise. What are you two hanging around my house at this hour?
Rinka!
Naomi dashes over to Rinka without a second thought. Wah! And she trips on her feet.
Allow me to propose a similar question. You weren't engaging in certain activities with a man, were you?
Well, I mean, I guess I was with a guy for the most part. How'd you know? Why would you say that? Why would you say that? Oh my god. This is why misunderstandings happen. I mean, I guess, technically.
What?
Ellipses? Anyway, let's head inside. You two were really waiting for me? Naomi is obviously flustered, whereas Miharu looks like she's seen a ghost. I can't blame Miharu. You know Miharu loves you. God damn it. And Rinka has no idea what's going on, but she takes them inside the store anyway. Following that, it takes an entire hour for everything to get cleared up.
Oh, so it was just Alan.
Oh, shit.
Good evening, my lovely little slaves of fate.
I'm really curious as to what's going to happen here. Parker's voice echoes throughout the Court of Fate once more. Tonight marks the 8th round of Divine Selection. Only 6 of the original 12 participants are left. 1, 2, 3, 9, 11, and 12. One is guaranteed to be eliminated tonight, though. None other than Odette, the very first person I'll have elected.
Please spare me from the boredom that accompanies your silence.
Ha, guess it's on you then. Go on and tell us something real interesting.
Something interesting, you say?
Odette remains as calm as ever, even though her impending elimination. That really pisses me off. Who cares about that? Let's get electing already. My impatience gets the better of me, causing me to shout. All it does is cause Odette to flash a smug grin. The stupid face drives me mad.
Goodness gracious, someone sounds desperate to carry out the election, it seems. Very well, allow me to begin tonight's election.
Parka makes her announcement loud and clear. She's doing it to show me up, too. Little brat thinks she's better just because she's a goddess.
Revolve, O clock of fate.
The standard election procedure follows. It's a sight I've gotten way too used to. Nothing from me. Number 1 passes. Next up is Miharu. Based on everything till now, she'll pass. I'm the only one out of our alliance that will be electing someone tonight, after all.
I'll elect number 11.
What the hell?
Very well. What's going on here? I can't have my panic over what just happened. Odette catches my eye in the midst of my breakdown. She's giving me the same smug-ass grin as always, almost like she knew things would play out like this. If Miharu's electing her, then I don't need to, right?
Number 3, make your intent clear.
Up. I cut myself off. Actually,
I will elect number 11 as well.
That was close. The shock almost made me forget that Odette has my information as well. Miharu will get her hands on the info if she eliminates Odette. Don't tell me that's been her plan from the beginning.
Huh? Doesn't sound like Scales expected this either, judging by his expression. Can't see him putting her up to this. There's nothing in it for him. I see, our first duplicate election of the night. Do wait until the clock makes a full revolution first. Scales right after me, now that we're down to such few people. I'll elect number 2. What? Damn it! He's electing someone as well. Miharu of all people. He's smiling, but it's not the fake one he usually has. He looks like he's holding back a real wicked laugh. I can't believe this. I never trusted them in the first place, but I never expected them to pull this stunt. Number 1 doesn't seem the least bit concerned about Miharu being elected, either. Guess they really did part ways. Very well. How about you, number 11? Nothing. From me, you already knew that much, didn't you? My role is merely as a supervisor. I may know what awaits you in your original fates, but the possibilities that stem from here are a mystery even to me. Huh, like I care. Parka pouts as Odette before directing her attention to Alan. I will pass. Let us begin with number 2 and 3's duplicate election, then. Whoever reveals one card will earn priority. Will either of you do so? I reveal my name card. Give me priority. Everyone here knows my name. It's no big deal. Wait a minute. Surely I'm supposed to reply first, given that I have a lower number than you. Following that logic, I will reveal my cause of death card. What? Miharu. Understood. Both of you are willing to reveal a card, then. One is plenty. But will you go beyond that, number 3? You little bitch! I glare at Odette. She isn't laughing anymore. She looks like a wild beast now. Her sight is fixed square on me, like I'm her prey. Even now, this might be the first time she's ever looked at me like this. What'll happen if the election gets cancelled? I can elect her next week, but I'll need to reveal another card if she opts to protect herself. If I don't elect her, she'll just elect me instead. Even worse, she hasn't revealed a single card of her own. That means she'll break right through my own protective measures. If we both elect each other, then we'll be eliminated tonight. Will you pass, number 3? Parker poses the question with a smirk. I ain't got time to think about how to make it through divine selection anymore. I'll never surpass Odette if I back down here. This is my best chance to put her to sleep once and for all. So long as I can beat her, then... Hold up! The thing is, Odette should have all 3 of my cards. She can still protect herself if I go on like this. Then I'd have to reveal my regret as well. I stay quiet. My brain starts processing things at a rate I've never experienced before. I've been with her long enough to know that she wouldn't just take an election from me lying down. She isn't electing me because she can't. She made it seem like she knew my regret, but that was a bluff. Which means there's only one thing to do. I'll give you my cause of death card too, so give me the right to take her down once and for all. Understood. With that decided, number 3 and 11, allow me to begin with the election procedure. Whoa. Wow! So he did both. Okay. So Miharu knew that this would happen too, huh? The sudden shaking takes me by surprise. My platform begins to rise above the court of fate. It takes me to the upper stratum, which looks limitless. I'm really interested to see what happens with Miharu. You cannot tell me Miharu's gonna die. I will be pissed. Doesn't look much different than below. Odette told me about the upper stratum before, but it really isn't that different from below. All that's changed is that me and Odette and I are here, standing opposite one another, just the 2 of us, rising together. Funny how you're the one who ends up electing me in the end. Trying to put on a brave face, huh? Show some fear. You're about to die, so I won't judge you. Are you really that done? We're both dead already. Ain't nothing to be scared of. If anything, I'm a bit upset I lost the game. This is the end for me, so I'll be honest. Kicking around with you wasn't that bad. In fact, I had some good fun. Odette sounds solemn as she says this. I'd say I had some fun too. Sharing wine with you wasn't that bad. Federico, the dumbass, falls for it again. You sure ain't fit to betray anyone, you know that? But hey, thanks for showing me the sincere side of yours before I gotta go. God damn it! Well, well, you two certainly get along. Ah, where did you come from? I certainly forgot about Parka thanks to Odette. This juncture of causality serves as divine selection's take on the thread of fate by which you are all bound. There have been, and will be, plenty of people like you too, those who get along so well. Moments like this bring me great comfort. You have some issues. I will take that as a compliment. Don't get the wrong idea, we ain't friends or nothing. We were just using each other. I'm eliminating her now because she got nothing of value for me. Oh dear, you could do with being more honest. Shut it. Just let me elect her already. Very well, we can't afford to waste time with a second group waiting. The card book begins to glow as she says that. All my cards pop out and start floating in front of me. Odette told me how the election process works, so I don't hesitate. All I need to do is pick out her three cards. Her name is Odette Malincon. Let me ask you something before you're done with me. She was crossed to death and died of blood loss. My goal in life was to enjoy it to the fullest, so let me ask, what's your goal? Why do you want to live through this so badly? Her question causes me to stop for a moment. It doesn't take long for me to answer, though. No one needs a reason to live. That's so. Surprise, surprise. Guess that means you've got the right idea as well. It ain't like you to spout so much nonsense. Her regret was being unable to give birth. All three cards float away from me once I pick them out. Once they reach the middle of the Court of Fate, they come together and form a triangular shape. The light surrounding them gets bigger and bigger until they eventually envelop the whole area. As for Odette, she looks like she looks more at peace than I've ever seen her before. Damn it all. So Odette's eliminated. Oh man, Miharu can't be eliminated. Did I make a wrong choice? I find myself on a ship under attack. A bunch of old-fashioned pirates were responsible. The ship was packed to the brim with weapons and illegally obtained jewels and crap. Of course, this ship company would never lose to a single boat, not with Odette Malincon at the helm. Things were different this time around, though. Not only were the pirates working together with a group she wasn't on good terms with, but they planned on sinking the ship and killing everyone on board, too. Oh shit. There's no way out when you are surrounded by 8 ships. All of Odette's crewmates were dead. Of course, they took plenty of pirate crew down with them. The ship itself looked like hell on earth. There happened to be a man from the Italian mafia on board, too. Odette was aware of that, and the fact that he was currently on the run. Just then, a massive shock rocked the ship. It began to break apart due to the damage it had received. Odette judged others based on their skill at the high seas. To that effect, the mafioso was nothing more than your average Joe. Part of the decking had been broken off when it was launched right at him. It was none other than Odette who used her body as a shield. That was the fact that she would never admit to. Even if she survived, she would just chalk it up to coincidence. The undeniable truth, however, was that Odette used her own body to protect the mafioso. The ship jolted violently afterwards before it broke completely apart. Both Odette and the mafioso were crushed by the wreckage. She tried to save him! You gotta feel kinda shitty now, don't you? You got to be kidding me. I find myself clutching my chest as I regain consciousness. My heart's throbbing like mad, and I'm sweating buckets despite it being a dream. I saw the exact moment of Odette's death. I can't believe it. She protected me. My eyes feel dry all of a sudden. The sheer shame I feel takes me over. Parka appears once more, chuckling in a manner similar to Miharu. She tells me all the cards Odette has in her possession and gives me the option to pick one. No way! All 3 of my cards were included in that list. She could have protected herself at any moment. Do give this some proper thought. My platform begins to descend as Parker's voice fades. The moment doesn't take me by surprise this time because I'm too preoccupied with everything that has just happened. Number 2's cause of death will do. How ironic that I picked the card. The card I pick is the one Miharu was going to reveal anyway. Doesn't matter to me anymore, though. Odette gave her life to protect me. She even had all my cards at her disposal, yet she never tried to block my election. And I'll never be able to find out why. I'm the one who eliminated her, but Shit, the shit, damn it all! I try to kick the stand in front of me, but I fall over myself without making any contact. There's no point trying to damage something in the dream world. You gotta feel pretty shit now, dude. Parka, who returned to the lower stratum at some point, speaks to me with a grin. She really pisses me off. Everything pisses me off now. Allow me to take the cards you've opted to reveal first. Parka takes 2 cards from me, and 1 card from Miharu. The participants' card books begin to glow, except for mine. I got Miharu's card when I eliminated Odette, and there's no reason for mine to react. Damn it. I doubt anyone can hear me at this point. My emotions are shot, and they have fallen deeper, deeper down this bottomless world. Ugh. Heh. After Federico has his election, it's Miharu's turn to be elected by scale, and I'm honestly worried at first, but Miharu comes back safe and sound. Finding her and Naomi outside Lion House on Saturday night sure took me by surprise. After hearing what they had to say, I was so glad I made it my way back home and found the courage to negotiate with Alan. We spent all of Sunday tracking down info pertaining to Scale's cause of death and regret. It shouldn't have been too hard because we already knew information on the cards themselves, but it still took almost all day. I don't know, I doubt I would have managed to do it without Miharu and Naomi's help. They should both be sleeping beside me in the real world right now. I could have elected him myself, but I didn't because I would run the risk of Miharu losing her own means of protection. That, in turn, increased the risk of the other participants getting hold of more information, but it remained the safest option. Goodness gracious, things certainly have gotten messy here. Not that you particularly care, do you? I sure got served. Damn it. Unfortunately, I have to agree with Parker's sentiment. My heart is racing. It's entirely possible I could have lost Miharu if Scale did something crazy, and that's the last thing I would want. Tonight's session resulted in 1 elimination. I bid you farewell for now. Divine Selection ends with Parker's farewell. My consciousness makes its way back to my body in the real world, but I don't go back empty-handed. It's nothing but a simple idea for now, but a certain possibility has made itself known to me. I'm really interested to see how they're going to change their fate. I love how he has the freaking music. Well played, Odette Malencon. Alan speaks to himself inside the storehouse. He figured that Odette had already obtained Federico's information. However, she opted to accept her death over using that information to protect herself from the election. Federico's realization after the fact would leave him perplexed and aware that he would never surpass her. Had she opted to protect herself, then he would have likely backed down in order to avoid revealing his regret when taking into consideration that Miharu Hinata had also elected her. On the off chance that he decided to reveal his regret, someone could easily elect him the week after. Odette opted not to pursue that possibility. Instead, she was content with deciding her own fate. Her death was a gallant one. Her way of life may have differed from my ideal, Alan presumed, but it merited respect nonetheless. Gallant in death, huh? Alan had been opposed to the concept till now. He was a firm believer in approaching everything from a logical perspective. Emotions have no place when it comes to actions. Doing so would blur the concept of black and white world. In its place would be an ambiguous reality and the results of action taken. He relinquished the name given to him by his parents in order to emancipate himself from the past. It's the place he chose Alan Scorpion, the name one wouldn't associate with his homeland of India. A new name came the start of a new life, and that's what he decided. He would use his name to bind himself and build up a massive fortune as a jeweler. And yet those actions of mine he was fueled by nothing but emotion, as he believed was unnecessary. That the name he picked for himself became one he cannot abandon. Its appearance on his name card is proof of that. That woman claimed to know my emotional state led to my forced disregarding of such emotions. Perhaps she was right. You're desperate, aren't you? Kamebuchi Kaiko said to him before her elimination. He may have laughed her off, but he couldn't ignore his irritation as he elected her. She saw straight through him. He knew this, and yet he made every effort to pretend otherwise. Alan is desperate to live. Shishimai Rinka. The look in her eyes pushes him forward. Alan has already lost divine selection. He has finally come to this realization. That alone isn't enough for him to give up on life, however. I'm the one who said it, after all. The numerous lives that have come to an end thus far have begun to stir in his emotions. So he knows that he's not going to be able to win. It's morning after the 8th election. Seems like I'm the last one to wake up. Good morning, Rinka. Good morning. Based on the information given to me by Alan, Miharu and I were able to deduce Scale's cause of death and regret respectively. Well, we barely succeed in turning the information into cards before midnight struck. Both Miharu and Naomi stayed over once we were done. I got a futon ready so I could sleep on the floor while they used my bed. I was surprised when both of you collapsed immediately at midnight, especially since we were in the middle of a conversation. But I guess that's what you meant when getting pulled into the dream world. At least you looked like you were sleeping soundly. Part of me was worried that you would end up tossing and turning like you were struck in a nightmare. Of course, nothing was more of a relief than knowing you both made it through the night. Sorry for making you worry. I gotta say, I never thought too much about what happens to our bodies when we go to the Court of Fate. I'm not too sure how time passes there in relation to here, especially when there's no clock to check. Well, there is one, but it's complicated. You were sleeping like normal then? Yes, I wouldn't have suspected anything had I not known the details. Knowing Naomi watched me sleep was a bit embarrassing. I know Miharu looks just as pretty as in her sleep, but for all I know, I can look like an idiot. Hey, us idiots over here looking like a stupid mess when they sleep. Yeah, that's me. I'm on that. In that case, I'm willing to bet no time passes in the real world at all while we're in the dream world. That does make sense now that you mention it, especially when you consider how surreal the dream world is in the first place. We agree with one another, but that doesn't mean we're right. Granted, it's hard to know when we can't directly compare the flow of time between worlds. Either way, I'm glad you came back Saturday night, Rinka. I take this moment to recall what we learned yesterday. Actually, it was Sunday morning. Calm down, Naomi. Scale Johnson studied graphic design at university while learning photography in his own time. He spent a few years working for a newspaper after graduating before he quit and became a freelance cameraman. A paparazzi, rather. Apparently, there's plenty of money to make from snapping photos of celebrity scandals in America. Ain't that the truth? I'm honestly surprised we figured out his regret first. I mean, it seemed like it was most difficult based on what we knew from my card. It's easy to assume he wanted to win a gold medal related to his old job in graphic design. Erasing one's past is no simple feat. Everything started to make sense once we figured out that he was taking photos of sports-related clubs during his college years. Especially once we coupled that with the fact that Rinka learned from Alan Scorpion that his work as a sports cameraman for a few months before becoming paparazzi. His photos were rarely used based on what we looked up, so he likely didn't make much from it. That's where Rinka's quick thinking kicked in. It wasn't about the medal itself, but the sports aspect. Scale wanted to capture the moment someone won a gold medal in the Olympics. Plus, he wanted that photo to be on a newspaper with national circulation. The fact that it's become his regret means he still hasn't given up on it. I'm not sure which piece of information is most vital, considering that how much we strung together. Regardless, his regret appeared in Miharu's card book. His cause of death is where things got tough. We never would have figured out solely based on Alan's information. Miharu would still would have been able to protect herself by this point because she already had his cause of death card. But we didn't stop there. I wanted to know all of his information too, just in case. I was going to need it at some point or another anyway. I was really down to a gut feeling once we learned about the other paparazzi that died in an accident during a car chase. Things really do work on a whole different scale abroad. No pun intended. No, more importantly, you were able to figure out who Scale was targeting by searching for photos credited to him. God damn it. The actress he was chasing was caught up in a scandal and had photos of it taken by another paparazzi who died during the car chase while Scale was in Japan. That was the fact that it happened during divine selection served as a final puzzle piece we needed. None of it was mere coincidence to me. Naomi and Miharu were both waiting for me. My being able to bargain with Alan, and most importantly, Miharu not backing down against Odette. We were able to get all three of Scale's cards through our combined will to push forward. We can't relax just yet. He might not be able to elect me now, but the same does not apply for you, Rinka. You can't let him get any of your info. I'm going to elect him next time, but doing so could lead to my own death if he manages to defend himself or elect me in turn. I'm confused by how that works. Because if you have all three of his cards and he has all three of your cards, then wouldn't it just happen the same way Miharu's just went down, where they both, were like, I have all three of your cards, well, I have all three of your cards, and then nothing happened. So how do you elect him and then he defends himself and then you die? I don't know. The issue is it's entirely possible that he'd be able to gather all the information he needs. Is it possible for you to stay in your grands until Scale is eliminated, perhaps? I'd assume that would be safer that way. I thought as much too, but Scale shouldn't have any issue finding both this place and where my grand is staying, so I don't want to risk getting her involved. You don't seem aware of this, Naomi, so let me make this clear. You should watch yourself as well, especially at night. Don't walk around alone, no matter the circumstances. It's common knowledge that Rinka elected you to save you, so he may find value in using you as a hostage. Well, a bit harsh, Miharu's right. You had no intention of electing me, but Scale could. I doubt I'll be able to persevere if he takes Naomi hostage. I'll keep that in mind. Naomi nods, visibly shaken. More importantly, seeing Miharu protect herself from Scale's election finally helps me realize that rule could be just what we're looking for. Should someone successfully protect themselves from an election, neither participant can elect one another. So basically, if the current participants all elect one another, then there won't be any other options left. Shouldn't we all survive if that happens? That might best be it. It is a possibility I considered myself, Rinka. The same can likely be said for the other participants, Sophia included. But she's the one who said she wanted both of us to survive. I'm positive she suggested that possibility while aware of what you just said, mainly because the idea of every participant going along with it is highly improbable. It's all over the moment someone deviates from the plan. I never brought this up because I knew you would suggest that everyone take part. Right now we should focus on finding a method that ensures only the two of us survive. Besides, Parker said we'd find out what happens if people can't elect one another are the only ones who remain. It might just mean that we all get to live. You seem to have a fundamental misunderstanding of divine Actually, forget it. I'm opposed to it, that's all. I'm curious about what she was going to say before cutting herself off. Naomi doesn't let Miharu end the conversation, though. Can we stop with the secrets? Don't forget that we still have school. Let's get ready before we're too late. Miharu. While she didn't sound entirely confident, I was still surprised to hear Naomi say that. Meanwhile, Miharu does her best to appear unapproachable while getting ready. She knows something, yet she's not saying it. I'm sure she has her reasons, but let's stop acting like this, Miharu, especially between the three of us. Rinka. I grab Miharu's hand as she's about to make her way downstairs. Her hands feel cold. This might be the first time I've held her hand since that time at the theme park. But now that I think about it, I can't help but think it's far colder than it was back then. She's taller than me, so I have to look up to her eyes, and there's no need for words. Miharu looks away from me before responding. I guess it's for the best then, especially when you're the type to take action until you're satisfied. But we don't have time now. I've got work after school today. How about we meet here tomorrow after school? Thanks, I'm fine with that. That fine with you, Naomi? Naomi and Miharu both nod, almost in sync. Just as I try to let go of Miharu's hand, she grabs hold of mine. I'm surprised, plus she looks deadly serious. I want you to promise me something, though. Don't hate me when I tell you, okay? I could never hate you, no matter what. Her lips quiver upon my immediate answer, almost like she's trying to hold something back. Afterwards, the three of us head off to school. It's got to be something about how she doesn't want to live and stuff like that, right? It's got to be. Well, that's about all the time we have for this episode, so make sure to click that thumbs up button down below for me, because you already know your support is greatly appreciated. Hit that subscribe button if you haven't already for future content, and leave a comment in the comment section down below. As you already know, your participation is also greatly appreciated. So we'll see you all next time.